Hello guys. We're back in the office again because, well, it's dark outside and why not? I can actually do some videos here and it's not affecting my life. I put this on the background of my desktop the other day when we did the layout video, and I quite like the idea of having it as, the branding and reminding me what we're doing here and the point of it. But it's been in front of me for so many hours now. I just picking holes in it. Look, there's lines here. I didn't get these to make up quite very nicely. This is a mess. This whole corner here. This is just a picture of a gear I stole from Google Images, and it's not very good. It's a photo, but the text is it's okay. It's got some grading to it, but it's not great. I sat here and picked so many holes in it. I thought, no, we'll do a new logo. And I didn't actually film myself making it, but I will go through the process I went through. This program here is called GIMP. GIMP. It's got a little logo like this dog with a paintbrush in his mouth. It's free. It's not a hack or anything like that. It's an open source program that people volunteer to write the code for. And it's very similar to Photoshop. It's brilliant. I assume it's available on Windows and Mac, but it's definitely available on Mac. GIMP. Very good program. So, right, new design. I quite like the idea of a circle. I like circles. You can do things with circles, rotate them. It's good. And there's also someone else I happen to watch on YouTube, or I have watched, and I like his branding as such, is a man called Captain Sparkles. And I will put a link to his YouTube page in the description. He makes computer game videos. He's a gamer. He's a different type of YouTuber to me, but he's big. And I just like his theme, should we say. So I've not copied him as such, but I've used him as some inspiration. So what did I want to do? I want to make a disc, really, similar to this gear, or not. I did think about making another gear, but the gear complicates things a huge amount. It's a pain in the arse having to deal with all these things, especially when it comes to rotating and angles. And if I wanted to make this 3D, it would make my life a hell of a lot harder having a cog or a gear as opposed to just a sphere. So I'm going to go for a sort of more modern look, but I'm thinking like a coin, a disky sort of thing, but slightly curved with a bit of shading or something like that. So where do we start? I've got myself here, 800 by 600 transparent background. I suppose I could also say I'm recording this in QuickTime. So you right click on new screen recording, it's recording this screen. I've got some other stuff on the other screen, which is prep, but don't worry about that. Yeah, so we've got our blank document, and it's got a transparent background. That is quite important. You don't want a white background. You want it to be transparent. So in your when you're selecting a new width, you can do template sizes. So you've got A3 and A4 and banners and so on and something like that. We went 800 by 600 and advanced options, background color, fill with transparency. That's what you need to do to get this transparent background in GIMP, at least, anyway. So yeah, we're making a disc. So I thought we'll get a circle. Let's show a circle. And this is one of the patterns you can get in here. I didn't really end up using this a lot at all, but it's blue and white. I like blue and white, as you may have noticed. Someone told me a long time ago that the human eye picks up white on a blue background the best. If you're trying to teach someone, or if you're writing on a background, that's meant to be the best way to be able to read it. So hence me using blue and white all the time. We've got a circle. This is a perfect circle. If you press command or shift or something like that, it takes the center point, which I went from by lining up these little arrows here on 300 and 400. I think I press shift and it makes it so that's the center point and not the corner of a circle, if you know what I mean. And this is just layer 1. I'm looking at it, I don't really like it. It's got no depth. It just looks like a sort of really scratched bit of ice skating ring or something. And I wanted to add better shading. The only way I was going to make this look 3D was with shading. It is a flat picture. It is drawn on a flat screen. There is no way I can actually, make it any more 3D than the way I would make it look 3D. So we went for a second layer. Layers to number your layers or name them. It's a lot more use when you do. We've got here, I had the selection, the original selection from the outside, you can see it would have been selected around this point here. I went to this one, select, and then I shrunk it with shrink, and I took it down about 3 or 4 pixels, because then that allowed it to have a rim. You can still see there is the rim of that dodgy, not perfect sphere all the way around the outside. This was relatively basic. I chose a colour. I like this blue. It's a little bit brighter than the normal ones. And then with the airbrush tool on, I think it was, probably about 20. And instead of the normal pixel brush, I went for this sort of like spray one, the smallest one of these airbrush tools. And I went, just smeared it around here. A lot of deleting, a lot of retrying, just smeared it around there. It was rough, but it's now it's showing the light coming from there, and the light isn't just, it's not on a flat plane. You can see this has got a slight curve to it, and if this was a sphere, it would light itself slightly like that, to an extent, within reason. So we've got a bit of shading. We've decided our light source is here. Very good. Where can we add to this? It still looks a bit flat, and I'm not very happy with the general texture. So we're going to overlay once again inside another shrinking of the selection, a slightly different layer with a lower opacity or opacity. I don't know how you're going to say it, but whatever. So this has got an it's not showing because it's a new selection, but this layer have only got an opacity of about 50%, something like that. So you can still see this coming from behind. So we're assuming all these layers up to here are the edge of the coin, like a slightly rounded bubbly coin bit. That is the edge, and then from this dark bit is where it comes across the face. Obviously the shading still comes around there because the light source might blend around that corner a little bit. Still a bit flat. It's got the idea behind it being concave, convex. Yeah, probably convex. But it's not looking like it yet. So we've added another sphere. I think this was the same size as the previous opacity one, but with the gradient tool, select gradient, I selected foreground and background, I think. Something like that. I changed my foreground and background to a dark blue and a light blue. I then went into the gradient one, which is here, blend tool. Yeah, fill with the color gradient. Select that, and then down here in shape, I went to radial. So, and then pretty much from that, I want the gradient from there to there, and it came up with this, and it looks much more 3D. Very good, I like it. And then I went mad with the smudge tool. I like the smudge tool. This one here, person with the finger smudging stuff. It's brilliant. It really does make a very nice job of stuff. So we smudged it all good, and got this a bit more even because it was all a bit hacky where it was. And we blended this in around a bit more of a corner. And I'm quite happy with that. I mean, I could do a lot more work to this. This whole junction here is awful and it needs working on, but I'm getting closer. From a blank bit of paper, I'm quite happy with what's happening so far. We've got layer 5 here, which I don't think does anything. That's a free layer. Have some spare layers laying about. You can use them later. And then we come to the text, the construction channel. I'm going along the lines of this American typewriter, whatever it's called. Is it American typewriter? Yeah, American typewriter bold I'm going for. Just like the spacing of it. I adjusted the font sizes to them. The is a bit larger font size to the construction and everything else like that. And painted them white. That's what it works. Now to try and add some more depth to this, I can't show you beforehand because it won't really show you, but these lines here, these bits in between, like where there's the joints and you can see it, these little bits here, you can see the T's in front of the eye now, and some of the T's in front of the R, and they lap each other now, whereas before there was just one big white blob. Once again, with because the text is all blank white, block white, I could select by colour, and I did the where is it? Edit stroke selection, I think, because you can fill with the pattern or fill with the background colour or anything like that, or gradient. But I did stroke selection, so it went around the outside with the border, and that gave me this little black outline. And then I got my smudge tool. I zoomed right in. Didn't take very long. I thought it was going to take ages, but it didn't. And I came in, I smudged it all. I went around here, I smudged that bit and smudged that bit. And from, where we are, normal size view, I think it looks quite good. So here we are. This is my new logo. I've decided logo version 2.1, we should call it, because this is not going to be the end goal. Obviously, I can improve on this, and I will. So that's a bit boring, really. That doesn't do anything. So I then exported the. Hang on, you're not allowed to see that yet. Bollocks! You can see it. I put it into Hype. Hype is another program I use. Hype 2. I think it's only for Mac. I don't know. It's a bit like Flash Animator Studios. It's not quite. Flash is incredibly expensive, and I don't know how to go about getting it, or even I'm not that good, so I don't need that program. This was about 30 quid, I think. It's expensive for a program, but it's not even that bad. 30 quid, it's not bad for a program. It's quite good. Yeah, it's a good program. Now this works in keyframes, as opposed to, I think, Flash, because I watched some tutorials on using Flash, and that is essentially a frame-by-frame animation program. It does use keyframes, and you can use them well, but it also gives you the option of just drawing literally 15 frames a second, draw a frame, draw the next frame, overlay them, and I think they use onion skinning or something like that. It's a phrase where they, you underlay the other picture and you can trace over it so it looks like they moved a little bit. This, from what I've found out so far, you can only use it as a keyframe program. So at the beginning, we've imported Shiny Logo, which is this bit. If we move the blank blue screen. This blank blue screen, I did steal a blueprint off Google Images, and it wasn't the colour I wanted. So I went into GIMP. I made a 1024 by, a 1080p blank screen, and I made it blue, and then I put the grids on, and I overlaid the grids, and I made my own blue screen just so. I don't know if there's any copyright as such on pictures like that, but this is mine, so get over it. Now we're on the background, and I thought, why don't we make it spin? Oh, that might look good. So in Hype, for example, to make it spin, you select your layer, which is here, and hopefully my center point is pretty good. You say the original timescale where you want it to be on this here little board. If you can't find this, because I've lost this metrics thing quite a lot of times, it's View Inspector. Get your inspector back up, and it should come. This will come back up. In here, there's lots of things you can change. You can change your document size. That's that is a 720p size screen. What else is there? There's other things. There's opacities, I think, and this is the rotation bit. This is what we're getting into a second. This is a window tab, I think, or something in the background. I don't know about half these instructions, but this is the opacity and reflection, depths and offset. Oh, that's quite nice. Didn't know we could do that. Don't you? That's very nice. Maybe I should have that. We're not having that at the moment. We've done the job. It's fine. So obviously text and other options available. So here we are. We wanted to have a keyframe. We want to make it turn round this axis. So this is axis, I think, Y. So you do it like that. Now you can do that as many times as you want, or because this program works in keyframes, I said 2 seconds. So I selected on my timeline at 2 seconds. I want it to be this rotation, so it's turned all the way from there to here, and that's all you tell it. You don't tell them any of those middle bits. And you say right from there to there, and then you press the record button, and the magic behind it all makes the program do that, which was brilliant. I was like, wow, job done, happy days. Now I let it carry on rotating. So originally I said I wanted to come all the way back round, but if you do this normally and just let that rotate, the writing's backwards when it gets to this stage. It's looking at the back of the picture, and I didn't want that. So here at 2 seconds, instantly on Shiny Logo, not the blue screen, this point here, there is an instant change from where it was to exactly 180 degrees opposite it. So I'm looking at the other edge of it. yeah, so it essentially resets from here, and then it does another quarter turn. And then when you blend that all together, the construction channel, spinny, widgety logo thing. I was quite happy with that. You know, for a couple of hours work, or even if that, it was, you know, it works. It looks good. I think it's quite clean and modern and fits with my branding or colour schemes as such. But I wasn't quite finished there. I thought, we can do more to this. So then we go into iMovie. Another free program, comes with the Macs. This is what I make all my videos in. I've never tried anything else, so I don't know any better. And here you are. This is the... Well, I'm not going to show you much. This is the big time lapse, obviously. We're up to 6 minutes at the moment. And there it is in the beginning. Got a little lens flare across there as well. So, as you can see, the normal... let's put this in here and show you what we did. So, this is the basic export I got out of Hype as a movie, an MP4 movie. That comes in, and I know in titles you can get all these different selections of titles. I've got a lot of files in my iMovie library at the moment, and it's disgusting. I need to clear some out, because especially with this here QuickTime recording, it's slowing things down a lot. But yeah, so you can get, so a title came on and went with little flickery lights and stuff, or pixie dust, which... But I don't want it to say anything, I just want the pixie dust. So, lens flare. We'll put one of them in here. We will make it about 2 seconds. No, I won't make it 2 seconds on. I did mess around with different times, but 0.7 was the right bit. We want to get rid of title there. We don't want that in there. And there we have it. Maybe it was 1.4 seconds. Yeah, I halved it. I've sped this whole thing up, because this is 4 seconds at the moment. I've made it double speed, so it's only 2 seconds. And here's the finished product. 2 seconds. And that will be what you get stuck on the front of all the videos. Faye said she didn't realise how much work went into it, so I thought I'd make a video showing how much work goes into it. It's not massive amounts of work, you need to know what you're doing, but I've researched it all through other people's YouTube videos, so if you wanted to know how I made this shiny new logo and made it spin and put the little flashy thing on it, there you go. That's how. I hope you've enjoyed this, guys, and hopefully we'll be back to doing some, you know, normal videos and uploading stuff, but I haven't had internet for about 4 days, hence why I've been doing things on the computer, not online. So yeah, either way, hope to see you all again soon. Bye.